call the board to order and stand the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic. So, need an approval for the meeting minutes from July 15th. Make a motion to do the second.
Second.
All in favor? Notice. Notice hereby given. Field. County, 1.47 p.m. 317 Westbury Road, consider an application for an area variance pursuant to section 350-117A. Residential ground mounted solar system located at 1311 Drake Road. Also consider an application for a use variance pursuant to section 350-74B. Full barn storage property. All interested persons to be heard. Reach out how to participate electronically to the panel website. And also be email. Use of Dropbox by 3 p.m. on August 6th. Longwood Field. President started the Longwood Field. It is August. Public hearing. You want to let people come to the mic? Take it.
Yeah, the area that I had cleared, it's very forested. The setback regulation, I guess, is 75 feet. I'd like to move that to 50 setback. Just so it's not so surrounded and the sun comes down all around it. Then I have less to worry about as it grows back in. Right. I'd like a little more, but I don't want to be greedy. I would really like 40 feet, so a variance of 35 feet, but she was just telling me, this is the representative from Third Rock Solar.
I'm with the solar company, so we had all the site plans designed. Can you get my... Yeah, of course. My name is Kay Purcell with Third Rock Solar, and we're at 101 Sully's Trail in Victor, New York. And so the site design that we submitted would show a setback from the street of 20 feet. And this was submitted, I'm sorry?
Center line.
This is from the edge of the road. And this was submitted with the application.
This is 50 feet.
Is that from the road or
That's
from
the
the center?
road. That's the road.
50 feet from the road and then 20 feet from the edge.
You're saying 50 feet from the center.
No, it's 50 feet from the edge, the closest edge.
Okay. Noted, we can do that for it going forward.
Yeah, on the picture that we got here, it's very hard to read.
Yeah.
But it's 50-foot center line. 20 foot from the edge of the road is what I'm
So the way we have it in our design would be 20 feet from the property edge, 50 feet from the road.
from the edge.
But if I could have that 50 feet from the center, I'd prefer that. If that's your
that would give
normal
you
is-
less, because
Yeah,
that would give you less. If you want
Oh.
more, you would want that, 'cause this is from the edge.
No, but if you take the center and you just said 12 feet difference and went back 50 feet, that would bring it a little closer to the road, which is
Oh.
my goal.
You want it closer to the road.
Right,
Okay.
so that the growth just won't fill in that quickly.
I have a question. So Bridget, I'm the town attorney. Where are you proposing this array in relation? Structure. Is there a structure?
Yeah, there's my house and then there's a pole barn,
Is it what front yard, side yard, backyard?
way over on the side.
40 feet east of the pole. And then it looks like it's actually.
But
It's-
would it be in front of the house though?
Yes, but there's woods that cover that up.
Yeah.
And the pole barn is also in front of the house.
Right.
Well, I only ask because under our solar code, ground mounted solar can't or is not permitted in the front yard.
Which
Well,
is why
it's
you're
in-
seeking the
It's a
variance.
side yard.
Well, I thought you're looking for an area variance for the setback, but then it's a use issue if it's going to be in the front yard.
If you look at the picture, it's definitely not in the front yard, it's to the side. I know, I don't
I don't know
think
what
it's-
picture you.
I think
The-
he's
the-
got the same picture.
So a front yard is anything that is from the front line of the house to the road. So even though it is off to the side, just looking at this picture.
Yep.
The front line of your house is here and the array is ahead of it, so it's in the front yard.
Okay.
So that is not permitted currently under the zoning code. This board would have to, that is not an area variance issue, that's a use variance issue. So we would have to do a public hearing on a use variance for that. Sorry for dragging out your one.
What needs to be filled out? Because we would have done it if we had known. Nobody just let us know, and we've already waited like how many months for this?
2 more months
Yeah.
and.
Well,
Is there
I,
any way to get it approved tonight?
not, what was the here, could you read the hearing notice? Because if it's,
So I did submit the variance.
I just like to hear the hearing notice is specific to an area variance, so fortunately, no. And
Okay.
apologies if there was a mistake, and you didn't get all of the correct information, but if we granted you a use variance tonight without following the proper procedures, it could be null and void.
I understand.
When is the next hearing?
They meet every month on the third Monday,
And when do we need the paperwork submitted by for the next hearing?
2 weeks before.
So this is the permit and not the variance that I applied for?
So this is, you needed two kinds of variances. One was an area variance
And one was a.
for the setback, and the other is
The use.
the use variance for locating it in the front yard. I mean,
Can you clarify setback? What do you mean by setback? Because we were just doing setback of the location for the array. So why would that be any different than the usage?
what do you mean?
So we were looking for the setback of the array for the actual location of the array. Why does that make the usage different?
Because the use has to do with where you can have a use. You cannot have a solar array in a front yard under the code as it's currently written. The setback is a different issue because there are minimum setbacks in this district. You do not meet the minimum setback. So there is a use variance and there is area variance.
Okay, so we would always need to apply for the two variances, usage and setback.
And if it's in front of the
If
house.
it's in front of the front.
Yes. No problem.
No, where the salesperson wanted to put it way away from the house, still in front, it would be in front of the house. Way away where I would have to look at it, and that's why I want to put it in the woods, which I already had cleared. Right in that area.
happy to chat with you offline, but the issue for a use variance is that you'll have to show that the hardship wasn't self-created, but
You gotta- that's-
Um, But if there is another place on your property that it could go, it's just that you don't want to look at it, that will make it difficult for you to obtain use variance. Because first from your picture, it looks like there are other cleared areas. And so that's something that you're going to have to address in your application. Well, I mean, you notice the public hearing, you can still see if there's anyone here from the public who wants to make a public comment on it. So at least you can have that, close the hearing on the area variance and then make decisions together next month.
Is it possible to get the setback variance, area variance approved, or does that have to be approved?
They
with the
really need,
usage?
it really needs to all be done together.
Thank you.
So then it's another variance application for that area use.
Which will take care.
Oh,
We do.
oh. I already did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can make a motion to close the public hearing on the area variance if you like, or you can leave it open until next month, up to you. Well, the public hearing for the area variance would be done tonight, yes, but you wouldn't make a decision tonight.
So-
No, it would be just a
You're just
motion to
gonna
close the
this public-
hearing.
Second. Aye.
Sorry. Just count your phone stuff.
We'll just scan, I'll be right.
So, or each variance. Talk to us, tell us what's going on.
What's that?
Tell us what's going on. I know you did last month. Just tell us again.
Well, I applied for a permit on the 21st of June and it got denied. I was told that I had to come in front of this meeting. And then I got told that if things weren't done proper, that it could be trouble. That I needed to get a variance use permit. And what I got the first time was just, yeah, go ahead, you can put your building up. But when I went to get a permit, it was the day that the computers were goofed up. And I got told that I should probably wait till the following week till things got straightened around so that we could get things done right. And the following week, the code enforcer was there on Thursday, and when I checked on Friday, he won't be back until next Friday. Well, the next Friday came around, and I got told that I had to come in front of this meeting again to get a variance use permit. I just want to put a 30 by 40 pole barn up on my property over on Root Road.
How long have you been
20 years.
Anybody else here that's talking? Next meeting. Next meeting, comes back with what's changed. We didn't have all the. That's all I can tell you. We didn't have all the information on the situation.
back, you're gonna put the building. Or back.
It'll be 300 feet off the road. The closest property line's over 100 feet away from where I'm gonna put it.
Do you mind if I ask some questions? Just trying to make sure we have all the information so we can get you out of here, okay? So this property, how big is your property?
I get a tax for 75.9 acres.
And so you're talking about 300 feet in?
What's that?
You want to build it 300 feet off the road?
Yes, off Route Road.
And how many feet or acres do you think from your side limits? Is it right in the middle of the property? Is it off to one side?
It's probably, it's not quite half. It's like probably a couple hundred feet on one side, on the west side, and a little over 100 feet on the east side.
And are there trees or other vegetation between where you want to put the building and the property line?
Trees on wood.
So what does your lot look like? Is your lot cleared right now? Or
Yeah.
Completely cleared, all 75 acres?
Yeah.
Okay. What neighbors do you have on either side of your houses, farms, businesses?
What's the question?
What else? The properties on either side of you. Are there houses on those properties? Vacant?
To the west, there is a house. It's used to be part of the property before it got divided. Then there's actually, for that house, there's a foot, but close frontage by 1,000 foot deep. The guy that bought the property for him wanted to keep for hunting property, so it's his property, then the property with the house on it. It's part of the original property.
Okay, so the lot right next to you to the west is vacant, right? What about to the east?
To the east, that's a big field.
Okay. Is there any other do you have any other property in the town where you can put this barn? Just so you know, there are certain criteria for use variance. This is one of the criteria is whether the benefit can be achieved by other means feasible to the applicant. So could you build this barn on a different property where it's not the only building on the lot?
I want to live there so I could keep my mowing equipment and chainsaw and stuff like that. And building, instead of transporting it from my house in Holly to.
So it would be very useful to have it in a barn in Holly. So it couldn't be, the benefit could not be achieved in another way. In terms of whether the request is substantial, I think we've heard that it's 20 by 30 barn, is that right?
30 by 40.
30 by 40 barn on a 75 acre lot. So does the board think that that is substantial? That it's insubstantial to have a 30 by 40 barn on a 75 acre lot, right? That it's not a substantial change, or whether it's a substantial change. That right. And it sounds like this barn is not going to be really near anything else. So you have vacant lots on both sides, right? So
That's the one on the west side's only a 100 foot frontage. So it's just brush and hunting area.
right, but there's no building on it because then he's got the next lot is where the house is, right? Yeah. So then the board will next have to determine whether the request has an adverse physical or environmental impact. Well, yep. And so are there any questions about what's on the short environmental assessment form that you want to ask the applicant about that? Okay. And the last one is whether this difficulty was self-created. So you bought the property for hunting 20 years ago, you said?
Yes.
Were you aware of the zoning at the time?
What's that?
Were you aware of the zoning at the time?
No, I had no idea. I didn't realize that you're supposed to live there in order, or be a farmer to put a building.
What are you planning to store in the building? You're planning to store.
Well, I got a tractor, brush hog and maintain the property with, I'd like to bring a riding mower with. And during hunting season, well, maybe full-time, I got a four-wheeler I could store in there. So during hunting season, I don't want to drive back and forth around the back of my truck, or I can leave it in the building.
Anything else? Do you do any agricultural work anywhere else, not on this property? Any agricultural equipment going to be in this building at all? Not even to work on it occasionally? You're going to service agricultural equipment there and store anything agricultural? And keep bees? No? Okay.
I planted a garden there one time, but it deteriorated.
Okay. Okay, fair. But if you planted a garden there again, would you use the equipment, would you put the equipment in the barn?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
This- Statute. Just change. Dash God. Water supply. Those days, very careful. Make sure the natural resources. Very good. But
Really, there's no sign of any swamps or anything. Gets wet sometimes, but
Yep. Okay, so now the board just needs to go through the 4 criteria. I can read them off to you guys if you want to do it one by one. So the first criteria is whether the benefit can be achieved by other means feasible to the applicant and whether there will be an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or nearby properties. Okay, I just need a why. No, and just an explanation of why you don't believe the benefit can be achieved by other means. Is this request substantial? And would that be because a 30 by 40 pole barn on a 75-acre parcel is not a substantial change to the property? Um, Whether the request will have an adverse physical or environmental impact? And is that because you just made a negative declaration of environmental significance? Whether the alleged difficulty is self-created? And is it fair to say that the way that the code is written is confusing when it comes to storage and what can be stored and whether or not that's a permitted use? And that there was even disagreement among reasonable minds within the town about that? Okay, that's all the criteria. Thank you. You can make a motion if you like. Just use variance. Now you can go get your building permit.
Okay.